Paul, why should I report abuse and neglect? So that children can be protected from further harm. What if I do not report? Every person who is required to make or cause a report to be made and knowingly fails to do so shall be guilty of a gross misdemeanor. Now, why don't you give me all the mandatory reporters again? Yes, in each and every state. That they know as a condition of their actual employment that they are required. You're misprisioning felonies. Poop. You're protecting corrupt judges. Yes. You're refusing to acknowledge the laws of the United States. Yes. And as a citizen, I want to sue you. I want to sue each of the states. Yes. For publicizing. Publication. Yes. And the printing costs of every law that you refuse to enforce. See, you will enforce the laws that benefit yourselves, law enforcement. Yes. You'd enforce the laws that give you collective bargaining agreements. You'd enforce the laws that allow you to belong to fraternal orders and associations. Yes. But when it involved the enforcement of the laws of myself as a father, yes, you decide to misprison each other's felony. Now, these laws, yep, I'm going to sue to have them removed. Do you understand, Governor? And I'm going to sue you as a mandatory reporter. You are now guilty of misprisioning child abuse. Pouch! Governor. Guilty of misprisioning, concealing child abuse and neglect. Now, as a presidential candidate, you thought that it was more important that your political campaigning was more important than the actual enforcement of the laws of the state of Washington. My thought is you're going to prison. Pooch. And I will imprison every governor, every state right now. I will put in prison every governor of every state. Oh, now you're going to give me custody of my sons. Yes. And I'm going to use, yes, the actual courts of the United States to sue all the governors of every state for their concealment, yes, of child abuse and neglect. Now, when I told you that I wanted to listen to Marilyn, yes, well, I did listen to her yesterday. Could you get me the employees of the State Department? Yes. The individuals that are employed in the various departments of the United States government? Yeah. Every time that you make a requirement necessary to adopt a child, yes, and then you decide to conceal the false advertising that is not in the public interest, yes, the misleading advertising of the Rotary newsletter, yes, the hate crime of the abuse that Mike Van Proyn has exerted on his actual family. You just wouldn't do it. You wouldn't look at all these publications. See, they have a large number of copies of each and every law that the United States passes. Yes, 1965, 14,000 of them. Oh, Senator Mansfield, yes, 196,414 of them. These are all publication and printing costs. Yes, yes, yes. Now, for those of you that say, well, this is look at first published in 1953, How Our Laws Are Made. Reflects changes in congressional procedures since the 23rd edition. The office, look at that. Framers of our Constitution create a strong federal government resting on the concept of separation of powers. Now, Article 1, Section 1 of the Constitution, the legislative branch is created by the following language. All legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in the Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and House of Representatives. Article 1, Section 5 of the Constitution provide each House may determine the rules of its proceedings. Now, upon this elegant yet simple grant of legislative powers and rule-making authority, has grown an exceedingly complex and evolving legislative process, yeah, much of it unique to each House of the Congress, to aid the public's understanding of the legislative process. We've revised this popular brochure for more detailed information on how our laws are made and for the text of the laws themselves. Readers should refer. Now, for every sheriff that says, well, he's crazy, pooh, I will completely. Do you understand, Sheriff? Mhm. Um, John V. Sullivan, U.S. Government Printing Office. Yeah. When the Congress passes into law an act, yes, and it is published, yes, there is an obligation for you to enforce it. Now, there's various forms of congressional action, yes. hmm Considerations of the committees, reported bills, yes. The different calendars, and motion to. Oh, look at motion to. See, you don't just get to just say, well, this is the law and this is what you're going to do because I'm in control. Yes, every law that the federal sheriff, you have refused to enforce the laws of the United States. You refuse to enforce the requirements of the Violence Against Women's Act. Yes. That you had to have jurisdiction, personal, and subject matter. Yes. You refuse to enforce my rights to due process. Right. You refuse to enforce child abuse and neglect laws. Now, when I told you, remove your fraud and forgery from the court system, have my sons contact me, yes, you refused. You just wouldn't do it. Now, I'm suing for the removal of every law, yes, that gives to you law enforcement any right, privilege, or immunity, yes. And every one of you can go back